right, Rob, we have reached the top of the hour.
Well, hello, everybody. Today's conference call is about advisor performance. Advisors performing well bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. If they don't perform well, guess what? You never make that difference up. It's just lost revenue. Today we're going to look at a few areas of key performance for your advisors. The first, before we start that, and the hardest to measure, number one, top of the list, attitude of customer care is a must. It is also the toughest to measure, but if your advisor comes to you all the time complaining about customers, this is a red flag. If you're hanging out at the advisor desk and your advisor goes, man, that guy was terrible because, or why do I get all the creeps? Why do I get all the nasty people? Guess what? It's likely not to be the customer's fault. If you're not in a situation where you have to culture to maximize customer care, if your culture in your dealership is not well established, that your advisors don't have any questions what they can do to make that customer pleased immediately, then that should be a red flag to you. And if you have a customer that actually takes the time to complain or voice their concern, listen and respond. I want to tell you an actual situation going on right now. And before I go any further, I will say this dealership is not a client. It's a local dealership in the town I live in. And guess what? My car is in their shop right now. Took the car in Friday, set up an appointment earlier in the week, and we offered to drop the car off. Would you like us to drop the car off Thursday, so if you get a chance to bring it into the shop, you'll have that vehicle available? No, don't bring that in. We're busy. Bring it in tomorrow. So we bring the car in. The part that was identified, first they called the wrong contact number, but the part that was identified as the concern wasn't in their inventory. So they said, we'll order it, we'll have it Monday. So today is Tuesday. Do you think, by the wildest stretch of your imagination, that this dealership called me to give me an update on the status of the vehicle? Do you think that they called and said, your vehicle's ready to go? Here's some additional maintenance that we saw you might consider? Nothing. No updates. No contacts. No completions. Your vehicle's ready to pick up. Well, we gave it a courtesy wash, and you're all set to go. This is what I call old school dealership. Guess what? That's closed. Those days are behind us. You can't deal with your customers like that in today's environment and prosper your dealership. I am totally blown away when I go to get my own vehicle service at somewhere that first of all, it shouldn't matter who you are. I'm not saying that. But when I am illustrated this kind of customer care in my own personal experiences, trying to get a vehicle serviced in a shop, should not be that tough. This should be easy. Have strong processes, strong flows, where you have procedures that are established, and that you feel warm and fuzzy about the customer care you got. You see, they told me how much it would cost for the repair. I approved that. But then, without having any further discussions, there's no way that this dealership, I haven't seen their numbers. There's no way that this dealership is getting good returns on the investment of the dollars they're putting into their staff. I remember one time going up to a fast food restaurant, and we could talk about maybe they're not paid enough or compensated enough. I went into this restaurant one time, and it was Arby's. And this Arby's person waited on me at the desk in line, and she said, "Do you realize that for an extra 50 cents upgrade, you can have a baked potato with cheddar cheese and bacon bits?" Well, no, I didn't, but guess what? I upgraded that meal just by the suggestion of that opportunity. Yet in the car dealership where the incomes are substantial, I imagine this person was near minimum wage. But you go into a car dealership where the pays and the compensations are far greater than minimum wage, and we get the kind of treatment where we don't even offer a supersized value meal, where we don't even mention the needed preventive maintenance that is required on the vehicles. Could be so disruptive that the technicians don't even note it anymore because no one at the advisor desk mentions it. This is the type of thing that needs to be looked at seriously in any dealership that you're involved in. Old school is not got any room in today's environment. All right, let's look at a few other key performance indicators. And the first one, next one on the list is RO counts. If your advisor has no time for customer care, guess what? They can't receive it. Your customers can't receive customer care if your staffing is wrong. Start looking at if your advisor counts are over 300 a month, consider it a yellow flag. And if it's over 400 a month, it's a red flag. Get more help. But if you're not staffing appropriately on customer care and you think that it's an expenditure that you don't want to afford, you're wrong. Your customer care is the sole reason for being at the dealership. And as I mentioned earlier, if an advisor is doing it well, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue annually. If the difference is 6 figures to have appropriate staffing, you can afford it as long as they're well trained and adhering to proper customer care processes. Staff appropriately. And some say the hours per customer pay repair order are dead and you got to go by gross per RO, and some of the major manufacturers are saying, no, you just want customer retention. But as a measurement of advisor performance, the hours per customer pay repair order, in my viewpoint, are still alive and very much a key performance indicator. And on most franchises, if you're above 1.8 technician hours sold per repair order, that is considered a reasonable result. But so you understand why I consider it a key performance indicator, it's not a matter of beating somebody up, but it's an illustration of the reality. Are they mentioning needed maintenance items and repair items? Are we looking their vehicles over properly and making those suggestions to the customer? And 1.8 would be a measurement of saying, all right, it's a reasonable result. But the reality is if you're looking the car over appropriately in your shop, and you're bringing this concept to the customer that I don't care if you buy it or not, but if that vehicle comes in our facility, we're going to recommend what is needed to the vehicle every time, every car, just to educate you and inform you of what we see with the vehicle. That's where the result is. And it's also, guess what, relative to the attitude of customer care that I brought about earlier that says this is a must. We have to provide the customer care that says no matter what, you're going to be educated about your car, not in a high-pressure manner, just to inform and educate what's going on with it. That is a key advisor performance indicator that should be watched. If you're not informing your customers, you're not providing good customer care. And another thing I think should be monitored closely on advisor performance and looked at is the margin, the discounts, the complying on the prices that the dealership has set and established. And one of the things we're looking at now is compliance to pricing as a percentage. And we're finding that a poor performing advisor, they just automatically cut the pricing and they go into it. Wow, maybe the hour per hour is up because they overpaid the technician. The technician came up and said, I need to have rusty bolts. And they go, well, I'll give you that, but I can't charge it to the customer, so I'm going to knock the rate down. And that's the path of least resistance. So these advisors get in a habit sometimes where they're just discounting everybody and all this gross profit is leaving the building unnecessarily without authorization, and it becomes a funnel for lost opportunities. So I challenge each of you today to look at these items of your advisor performance. See where you measure. See where your tracking may be improved. And go at this as we go into these spring and summer months as an area of opportunity to take the second, third, and fourth quarters and prosper our dealerships and maximize customer care. Both of those are entwined into the same results. I'll tell you what, thank you for attending the call today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.